welcome to the Laugh or Cry podcast. And we're going to talk about music and movies and films, which movies are films, TV, pop culture stuff. And we're going to start off by saying, on this day, February 10th, 1964, Bob Dylan releases These Times They Are A-Changin'. Wow, that could really be right now. I mean, I feel like we have gone back in time, if you go by politics, 50 years, but if you go by just life, I feel like we're in the 80s. We're worrying about Russia, we're worrying about the nuclear bombs that could possibly be going off, inflation, senile presidents. I mean, it's like I'm back in the 80s all over again without the love of Walkmans. But those are kind of making a comeback too. Boom boxes. Who would have thought boom boxes are big again? You could find them on Amazon. I'm sure if I looked, I could probably find Walkmans too. And records have been making a boom in the last decade or so. But now, people are going to start coming out with cassettes again. Yes, you heard me right. Cassettes. Cassettes. As long as they don't bring back the 8-track tape, I think I'm good. On this day, in 1992, Mike Tyson was found guilty of raping Desiree Washington. I don't even remember this. I don't remember him raping anyone. I do remember him beating the shit out of Robin Givens. So, it's so funny how some of these people we just see as characters and we don't see the awful in them. Like Bill Cosby. Wow, that rocked me because I did not expect him to be this crazy predator raper guy. But I can separate the art from the artists. So, But it's nutty nuts. And let me see, on this day in 1989, to gain deregulation, the WWF, which is now WWE, World Wrestling Federation, now World Wrestling Entertainment, because they had to admit that pro wrestling is an exhibition and not a sport. This was in a New Jersey courtroom. And some while later, the World Wildlife Federation sued them because, hey, we're WWF. We had that first. You're going to have to quit that. So since they went entertainment, they went all in. In 1993, Michael Jackson talks to Oprah Winfrey. It airs on ABC and drew 39.3 rating, which is like 90 million people. I can't even remember what he was talking about then. Hopefully, not a lot of rapey stuff. Now, back to wrestling. World Wrestling Entertainment wrestler Jerry the King Lawler. We all know him in Tennessee as the King because he was the king of Memphis wrestling. And I remember growing up, every Saturday, the wrestling would come on TV. And I don't know if it was a studio in Memphis or studio here in Nashville, but they would put on these, it was like a mini Raws. So you're in a studio. You had the sportscasters that were on one side. You could see like a couple of rows of fans in the audience. It was hilarious. That was the first time, other than Taxi, that I'd seen Andy Kaufman. And I totally remember him doing the wrestling thing. He would come on with, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, and they would play it up. I mean, he was like just the perfect bad guy wrestler. I mean, honestly, if I was a wrestler, I'd want to be the bad guy. They're funner. They're just so much fun. But anyway, Jerry Lawler, he suffered a massive stroke on Monday. And his speech is limited right now, but they think he'll make a full recovery when he goes to rehab. Rehabilitation, not for drugs. A rep for Lawler provided a health update Wednesday that fans were concerned. He's 73. He's had a lot of heart issues in the past. Like about 10 years ago, he had a heart attack on air while they're doing a live Raw show. He has a heart attack. And then he had, I think he had a stroke in 2018. So as someone that comes from heart issues, I know how scary that can be and life-changing it can be. Well, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, paid him a little visit while he was in the hospital, because it happened in Florida, Fort Myers, Florida. So that's where he is, and he's recovering right now. And J.R. Ross, he did like a little visit with him and did an update saying that it looks like Jerry's going into the right direction of healing. So that is great news, but I mean, very scary. I think he pretty much retired from doing like any broadcasting. He did special shows. I think he did the Royal Rumble and stuff like that, but otherwise, hopefully he will make a full recovery. And let me see. I got to thinking about it, because I don't know if you're like me, but when I go to the store, I can't walk out of there for under $100. And I've been like, what has happened? I mean, this seems like all of a sudden. I remember when I used to go to the store, $20, have my groceries for the week. Granted, like I said, this was the early 90s. So I thought I would look up and see what prices have changed since the 90s. So you could have bought, like $100 in 1990 would be like $206 around now, a little over. In 1990, you could buy a brand new house for $123,000. And this was a good house, a nice house. That same house, oh my God, I don't even want to know. And even in 99, that same house was like $131,000, $132,000. Now it's like $300,000-$400,000 or more. 1990, the average income was right at $29,000. And by 99, it was $40,000. And I don't think it's really gone up a lot since then. I think a lot of people are making $50,000, I think, is the average income for Tennessee, I think, which is frightening. In 1990, the cost of a new car, $16,000. And by 1999, it was like $21,000. Now, oh my God, you can't get a new car for under $35,000. And that just seems like that's happened in the last 8 years. It's insane. Back then, you could have bought a Ford Mustang convertible for a little over $14,000. I would kill for that now. Of course, cell phone prices are not a lot different. It was like $325 for a new cell phone back then. Pork chops, $1.98. I don't even want to think about how much they are now. Leather bomber jacket, $99. And I think they still are at Wilson's. You can still find a lot of jackets for $100, $200. A pair of Levi denim jeans, $35. And that's about right. I think that's that or more. Like, I guess I've just always bought my jeans used. Because I'm like, what? They should be no more than $20. No more. And let me see. Meat. I think I saw earlier it was like meat. Let me go back to that. You could buy a loaf of bread in 1990 for 70 cents. A pound of hamburger meat in 1990 for 89 cents. Oh my God. And I buy the lower fat meat because heart. And it's like $8, $8 or $9 for a pound of ground beef. That's, the good ground beef, but even the shitty ground beef is like $7. I hate to be like that crotchety old man that was like, back in my day, but I'm totally that crotchety old man. So much so that I know it's going to make me angry. Burt Bacharach died yesterday, and I know there's going to be, people didn't know who Bonnie Raitt was, so I know people aren't going to know who Burt Bacharach was. Those that don't, if you saw Austin Powers' Man of Mystery, he was in it, and even some of his songs were in it. Do you know the way to San Jose? Na, 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 na. He was 94, so at least, he lived a long life, and of course, natural causes, I'm sure. He has written so many songs, and that so many people have done. Dionne Warwick did a lot of his songs, but Aretha Franklin, Dusty Springfield, Tom Jones, What's New Pussycat, whoa, whoa, whoa. He did some stuff with Elvis Costello in 98, I think it was. But a box set called The Songs of Bacharach and Costello are going to come out March 3rd. So at least he still has things that are coming out. Oh God, he did the theme for Arthur. Arthur, he does as he pleases. The score for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Raindrops keep falling on my head. He did that. Oh, gosh. It's so much stuff. And it's so sad when you see somebody like that die. You forget what a huge body of work that they had. He was a frequent guest at the White House. Didn't matter if the president was Republican or Democrat, which is how it should be. We really need to stop being political. I just want a guy who doesn't suck and isn't a million years old. Is that too much to ask? Evidently. Oh my gosh, he wrote Alfie. Oh, so much history here. But, you know, like I said, music, I love that some of the old stuff is becoming new again. Hopefully he will make a little resurgence. And it's so sad that people have to die for you to be like, oh my God, this is his music. But hopefully we will not be hearing the last of him. Not like in a ghost kind of way, but just in an amazing music sort of situation. Not a lot has happened on this day in history that I've found that I gave a crap about. But I thought I would do like a little update and just chit-chat about what is going on in the world, what's going wrong in the world, and how we get through it. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are going to be coming out with a movie called Air. And it's about, it sounds like, I will have to look it up again, but about Nike. And it's going to have like a really great cast. It looks, I've only seen one still photo, but it looks like a comedy. And the other people that are in it are comedic actors. So, and Ben Affleck looks hilarious. I don't know if he meant to look hilarious, but he does. So hopefully that'll be coming out soon, and it will be fun and funny. So, well, thank you for listening. This was just like a little quick one, but I wanted to do some shout-outs to what's going on in the world today. And let's get back together and chit-chat a little bit more later on. Have a good day.